Welcome to our YouTube channel, All America Selections, Flowers and Vegetables. This whole series is going to be about starting your cool weather vegetables, your leafy greens, kale, cabbage, broccoli, peas, and getting them into your fall garden. You really have two seasons for cool weather crops, spring and fall. And today I just want to talk about Coco Coir. What is it? How do you set up your containers using Coco Coir? Why it's important? And we're going to get some lettuce transplanted into those containers, and we're going to focus on container gardening. That's container gardening. That is a great way to really grow your cool weather crops. Coco Coir can come uncompressed in a bag like this. It's made from the husks of coconuts. It's renewable. People like it. I like it because it retains water. Now there's no nutritional value in here, so there's nothing here that benefits your plant. But for containers, it's wonderful because it holds water, it loosens the soil, and that's why we're going to use it. You can also buy Coco Coir in compressed bricks. This one has decompressed just a little bit, but it's usually about this thin pressed brick. It's dry, and this is actually 1 1/2 of these mixed with water. And it's going to come out, and you can see if I grab this, how much water it retains. This is why you want to use Coco Coir or other things like peat moss in your container mix, because it holds water. That's the key to success for your container gardens. If your containers dry out just one time, the root systems of your plants get damaged and there's issue. Now how do I use it? So this is about a 3-gallon container. You're going to take, let's just say, your refreshing old container mix. When you buy containers, soil from the storage, you're going to be paying a lot more money. And I don't know if you can see these two little pieces. This is wood. When you buy the container mixes pre-made, they contain a lot of wood. You don't want that, really. It's cheap. They use it as filler. And you're paying a lot of money for those bags of potting mix, container mix. You can really make your own. So we'll do it two ways. First, if you have old container mix you want to freshen up, you're going to take out about half of the old mix. And then we're going to replace the other half. This is the Coco Coir that was in the compressed brick with Coco Coir. Now I'll be doing a video on peat moss too, if that's what's available to your area, and if that's something you want to use. And then you're just going to mix it together. This is some old container mix from the beginning of the season. This is a lot less expensive too when you price it out. I'll do future videos if you want to follow our channel on setting this up with organic fertilizer, feeding your plants with water-soluble fertilizers, and just the whole setup. And what we're doing here is we're setting up our plants for a great start. Now, you want to take the soil level up to about here, so add in another half of the mix, the old mix. And then this Coco Coir, of course, has the water in it from the compressed brick. You can use the bagged Coco Coir, it's drier. And you just want to blend it together. Now I'll go into more detail. Let's actually grab some fertilizer. When you're setting up your containers, any organic granular fertilizer is fine. And something about this size, it's going to be 1 or 2 tablespoons, but I'll do a future video on fertilizing and give you more details. Now, the granular type is insoluble, which means soil life needs to break it up, get it set up so that your plants can use it. But that is the basic setup. If you want to add a little bit more of your container mix to this, you could. Don't be afraid to fill it up to the top. The more mix you have in your containers, the more moisture it's going to hold. And that's the number one problem people have with container gardening is that their plants dry out. And then once they dry out, they're dwarfed, they're damaged, they can recover, but it slows production. Alright, so we have this set up with basic insoluble organic fertilizer. Now today's August 25th. You can start your cool weather vegetables. Today's cool weather vegetables are going to be lettuce. 3 weeks growing in the cell like this. And this is why I seed start them. You could drop seeds now, but my temperatures just dropped down to 60-degree nights. And the cool weather crops really like 40, 50-degree nights, 60 to 70-degree days. So if you start them too early, they don't do as well. So I can start them in these cells 3 weeks ago in the beginning of August when it's too hot. Keep them under the shade area of my garden, and then when the temperatures are ready, drop them into the containers, and they're ready to go. General spacing, if you want your leaf lettuces to grow to a full head, you want 4 to 6 inches in between. We're going to grow these somewhere in between. As the leaves get bigger, we cut them off, leave the roots in the ground, and they will continue to grow leaves until the frost comes. Now what's interesting about a lot of the cool weather crops, they can actually take a frost. The leaves of lettuce and other leafy greens that like the cool weather can freeze through, and then they thaw, no damage to the plant. Your tomatoes and peppers can't do that. So that's why they're considered cool weather vegetables. They grow better in the cool weather. They can take a light frost. This would get watered in with a water soluble fertilizer, and I would do that about every 10 to 14 days. You know, let's give these a quick drink of the water soluble fertilizer. I'm using a fish emulsion, and this is a 511 NPK. And for your leafy greens, you want a higher nitrogen. That's what the leaves want to grow. And that's all you do to get your lettuces set up. Now again, please subscribe to our channel. We don't run ads, so you can watch the garden videos you want without having to sit through YouTube ads. And I'll be doing a full setup on how do you set up your seed flats. You know, start your seeds in those flats. Now you can also grow peas. They are cool weather crops. The leaves can take a frost, the pea pods can't, so you want to start them about 75 days before frost comes into your area. You want to, at least let them be able to flower, produce, and that's about 75 days. These are Little Marvel. The peas only get this tall. There's also a great All-America selection pea called Patio Pride. They're dwarf peas. They are perfect for small containers like this. This is about a 3-gallon size. I'm also going to plant up 5-gallon and 10-gallon containers with the larger peas back there. So you can save a lot of money by using Coco Coir, using peat moss. I'll do a video on peat moss this week. This is my garden soil. It's in pretty good shape. So I'm using half of the container, my garden soil. If this was more compact, more clay, not as loose as this, then you're going to do 1/3 garden soil, 2/3 Coco Coir. But again, this is going to be a 50-50 mix. In a container this size, it's about 1 square foot, 1 foot deep. We would put in 2 or 3 tablespoons of the granular organic fertilizer. Mix it through. And I'm going to keep stressing, the key to container mix is water retention. And we're just slowly doing a 50-50 mix of my garden soil and Coco Coir. Now, peas are an interesting vegetable because they fix their own nitrogen, which means their root system is able to pull it out of the ground basically from the air. They use a bacteria, fungi that help them fix nitrogen from the air. So they don't need a lot of fertilizer. They do need the potassium, the phosphorus, but you don't need high levels of nitrogen in there. And it's starting to look really, really nice. I mean, this is nice and loose when you crush it. It doesn't compact, it easily breaks up. But peas, leafy greens, all your vegetables, same thing happens. If they run out of moisture, just one time, it damages their growth. That's the setup. Little Marvel peas, they were started on 8.5. You can see in about 3 weeks the roots start to coil. You want to get your peas and all of your seed starts really into the ground somewhere between 14 and 21 days after they germinate. And we're just going to dig a hole right in there. Loosen the bottom a little bit. Don't overwork the roots. Drop it in. Same thing over here. Nice quick hole. Little Marvel. And again, try the Patio Pride. You'll be really impressed. They're even more dwarf than this variety. But they produce a lot of peas. They're only going to get like that tall, Patio Prides. And then they don't need a lot in the way of trellising, but I still like to give them something to climb on. Take this stick, something like that, break it in half, put the splinter side down. Let's water these in. Quick water, that's all you need. That has the fish emulsion in there. And these will be ready in about 4 weeks. Alright. Now, Coco Coir, pros and cons. Coco Coir is renewable. It comes from the husks of coconut plants. Great retention of water, that's why you use it. No nutritional value. And you want to make sure when you're buying a brand, read what it says. And one of the key things is it should say low salinity. Because these are often grown near salt water, sometimes the salinity of the Coco Coir is high, and that could be problematic for your plants. Nowadays, most of them get rinsed, but you really want to check out the packaging and see if they mention that this is a low salinity Coco Coir, and that's what you want. Hope it gives you some idea of how you can do this really inexpensively. This is a lot cheaper than buying the pre-made bags of potting mix or container mix at your stores, and it's going to be a lot better quality. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, All America Selections, Flowers and Vegetables. Thanks for watching.